So I'm reading this little thing here, 1982 by Bobby Fischer. I was tortured in the Pasadena jailhouse. Pasadena is in California. So he's sitting there saying he's walking towards Lake Street in Pasadena, across from the Kaiser Permanente medical offices. A policeman in a car pulled alongside the curb, said he wanted to talk to me because he fitted the description of a man who just committed a bank robbery. Hey, Bobby Fischer, did you rob this bank? And he was like, you got the wrong person. He didn't. He started asking him a bunch of questions. Where are you from? Name, residence, age, all this other shit. Then eventually he answers all the questions. He's polite. Then a second California cop comes up. And then he's surrounded by 3 or 4 cops. And then at least 3 or more separate occasions he was asked where he lived. Told him he didn't have the exact address. And since it was only a block or 2, I would show them where it was. They showed no interest whatsoever in this reasonable suggestion. So he's like, I live right there, 1 block away from his goddamn house. 1 block from his fucking house. And then they say he's probably wanted out of state. They said he didn't have a driver's license. He give all of his information. Well, he's probably wanted out of state. You think we should arrest him? Yeah, I think so. Let's take him down to headquarters. So for what he was walking, he was a guy walking on the street. What, did he have like a real scratchy beard? He was fucking suspicious. There was no fucking bank robber. He's absolutely right. He was like, this is serious. He was like, if it was a fucking bank robber, of course it's serious because, you think that this guy just robbed the bank. Of course it was. So he goes on, brutally handcuffed, arrested, false arrest, insulted, choked, assailant description, stark naked. So they just leave him naked and they're all staring at him and, looking at his dick. They're choking him. They're hitting him. They arrested him. No phone call, horror cell, isolation and torture, mental hospital, starving and freezing, inside mattress, TV dinner, no water. There's a sick cop. Police indecency, threats, more questions than answers, police crimes, phone call, fingerprints, signed, unread, no written charges, no money back. So they robbed him, they, falsely imprisoned him, no written charges. So they got 2 receipts for $500 bail on each one, no accusations on them, and as a matter of fact, no clear command to appear anywhere. So that's fucking tricky as fuck, right? So, is he free to go, or are they just trying to, get him for, failure to show, sham, unasked questions, true events. So, they stole his money, they beat him up. He called all this torture, okay? So, I would say it's oppressive. They're threatening him, they're hitting him, and he didn't do a goddamn thing. They send him to the mental institute, they're isolating, torturing him. Stark naked. This all happened within a span of 2 days. Choking, insulting, so brutally handcuffed, choking. So what the fuck, America? 1981 this happened, before I was born. So this is another reason why I don't hate Bobby Fischer's comments on 9/11. What the fuck, America? What the fuck? And is it okay for me? Can I blame all of America for this? Yeah, I think so. He says later on about Japan, they got fucking Nagasaki to Hiroshima. They got fucking, nuclear bombs dropped on 2 cities. Japan should feel like nobody gave a shit. I mean, once America did that, nobody's going to stop America from doing that. And even if they gave a shit, they didn't stop it, right? What the fuck could they do about it? And so Japan should think that. Japan should think that, if the U.S., it was in wartime or what have you. But he's in fucking jail. He's getting tortured in a Pasadena jailhouse. The world-class champion. This is 9 years. 9 years after he's the world champion. This is just like Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali gets the gold medal, comes back, gets fucking treated like shit, fucking racist bullshit. Bobby Fischer is just walking around. He's just walking around. All of a sudden, his crime was walking into some police officers at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon. In the afternoon. So what? He had a weird beard? He didn't, I don't even know what the fuck they could have said that he was doing wrong. So can I blame all of America? Yeah, I can. I mean, your leadership, your cops, your political establishment, they fucked over Bobby Fischer. You being a regular citizen, you didn't go bail him out. You didn't go stop it. You didn't do a fucking thing. You can't. What the fuck can you do, right? If you try to do anything, they would do something to you. So were you a psychiatrist? Were you a lawyer? Did you try to pick up the pieces? Like, seriously, when you first hear about it first, you'd want to stop this shit from happening. This should never happen to anybody. Ever. You're a good person, America? Okay, well, you shouldn't have treated Bobby Fischer like a fucking asshole. 4 cops beat the shit out of him, threw him in fucking jail for walking around. That's it, for being an American. The quintessential American was being an American in America and got his ass kicked for it. and robbed. So great fucking, yeah, wonderful leadership there, Americans. Great leadership. You got thugs, violent thugs going around robbing people and taking their shit, and you're not going to do anything about it. You're not standing up to it, and you're probably not even help pick up the pieces when this shit happens to somebody. You're probably the fucking asshole that'd be like, well, what'd Bobby Fischer do? He's probably being like ornery or probably acting like a hooligan. And since he's acting like a hooligan, they deserve. But yeah, guess what? We have freedom of speech. You can act like a fucking hooligan if you want to. But more importantly, you know, that's justice to you. That's fucking justice. Well, he did have a beard, so let's kick his ass. So him being pissed off at America, for one, he got tortured for 2 days, and then two, he's eventually, he's out and about, you know, where's Bobby Fischer? Where is he? I don't know. Spassky rematch in 1992. So eventually he's going to have this rematch, and they pick Yugoslavia. And at that time we had some sort of United Nations embargo on Yugoslavia. We're trying to fuck up Yugoslavia or Serbia or some shit. So he goes to Belgrade, which literally means white city. And then Sveti Stefan. So Sveti Stefan and Belgrade, Yugoslavia were the two cities that he had this revenge match, this world championship, this rematch with Spassky Kasparov. So Gary Kasparov. And then, you know, they're looking for a fat purse, so they're looking for whoever puts up the most money, and then that's where they were going to go to the thing. So the purse for the rematch was $5 million, and over $3 million of the purse was going to go to the winner. So this is how huge Bobby Fischer is. Just to watch him play some chess, somebody put up, you know, $3 fucking million, and then that won't even go to him. That goes to the winner, right? So that means $5 million was put up for this chess game. And the money would be great. God, I mean, shit. He said he won the match with 10 wins and 5 losses and 15 draws. And Kasparov said, Bobby is playing okay, nothing more. Maybe his strength is 2,600, 2,650. It wouldn't be close between us. So anyways, this Spassky rematch. So I don't understand why they say Spassky and Kasparov is... It doesn't matter. Who cares? So, maybe he is both. Maybe he's like, you know, battling out with several of them. The main point to what I'm trying to say is that he was in Yugoslavia. He was in Belgrade, Sveti Stefan, when the United Nations embargo was there. So then eventually, there's something about the U.S. Department of Treasury told Bobby Fischer that his participation in the match was illegal, and it would violate George H.W. Bush's executive order. And so he spit on that order or some shit. He was like rude or disrespectful to that U.S. Department of Treasury troll. And so he spits on it. And, you know, they were pissed off. And so they revoke his passport. And then he goes to Japan. And Japan says you don't have an authorized passport. And then they keep him in a Japanese jail for 8 fucking months. Probably talking about extradition, but then America, who's going to take Bobby Fischer? Who's going to, you know, Bobby Fischer played this chess game, and they were trying to say, what, he didn't pay his taxes, right? He's an American, so therefore, part of that winnings, you know, part of those winnings was supposed to go to the American government since he didn't pay his taxes, or maybe they're saying he, you know, broke this executive fucking order. So, whatever it is that they're trying to say, whatever bullshit they're trying to fucking say about Bobby Fischer, it's bullshit. He got 8 months in jail in fucking Japan, which is way worse than just the 2 days that I described. The 2 days, I mean, just one, I mean, how many times, what do people have to do? If I was to, I mean, just take it like, take the uniform off the person, and you have one individual, right, there's a drive-by shooting. So let's take the person who's doing a drive-by shooting and make him the cop, right? So you got this oppressor, and they come to your house, they accuse you of something, they keep bullying you, pushing you, and you didn't do nothing. You're trying to be nice, you're trying to be polite, but they just keep on accusing you of shit, and they say that you're doing this, you're doing that. You get a little bit frustrated, and they're like, oh, well, now you just got mad now, you know, as if that was the fucking crime. Now you're disrespecting me, huh? Now I'm going to fucking really hurt you. So they're being a bully fucking shithead. They're not saving anybody. There's no bank robber. They didn't think he was a fucking bank robber. That was some bullshit. And then there's 4 guys on him. Now you have 4 guys on top of Bobby Fischer for walking around in California. And then the United States made sure he was in fucking jail in Japan for 8 months. And there was some, you know, I forget his conditions in there, but there was like something, you know, he asked him, are you all faggots or some shit like that? So He's got some, hillbilly in him that I don't fucking like. His anti-Semitism is bullshit. His homophobia is bullshit. But then he said that one guy, they were really nice and gentle. So that's why he asked them that, because they were kind and decent and gentle. And maybe they knew who he was. He was fucking Bobby Fischer. So they're like, in awe. And so what the fuck, America? What the fuck, America? Why'd you kick Bobby Fischer's ass? Why'd you torture Bobby Fischer? Why'd you beat the fuck out of Bobby Fischer for walking around America? Hey, America, why did you throw him in a Japanese jail? All he was doing was trying to make some fucking money, just trying to live his goddamn life. He wants to have a fucking chess game in fucking Serbia? Let him have a chess game in Serbia. What the fuck is it to you? Why the fuck do you got to get involved? How dare you play a chess game in some area where we banned you? If he wants to play a fucking chess game in North Korea, I don't know. I mean, I guess if we were like in the middle of World War II, yeah, I guess I wouldn't want you playing a chess game in fucking Germany, but we haven't had like a essential war where it was like we were looking at world domination, there was mass genocide in the world. So we haven't had a fucking war like that for quite some time, and definitely not in 1992. What the fuck what were we afraid of in 92? Just the Cold War. The Cold War was over. So we were free to do as the fuck as we please, and here we are sitting there picking on Yugoslavia and Serbia. And guess what? Bill Clinton's going to start dropping bombs in 98 with Bernie Sanders' permission. So that's in Belgrade. And so, when Bobby Fischer has some angry comments for the United States after 9/11, I can't hate him. I can't hate him. It says it didn't say March 24th, 2005. So this is 3 years before he dies? I'm not for sure. No, it was 81. No, 92. Sorry. But it's just this Washington Post article saying the chess legend who feared deportation to face charges in the U.S. was freed Thursday by Japanese authorities. After 8 months in prison, the Justice Ministry said he left immediately for the airport to fly to Iceland. So thank you, Iceland, for taking care of our Bobby Fischer. We didn't take care of him. We did not treat Bobby Fischer right. We didn't treat Bobby Fischer right. We kicked his ass on the fucking streets. Police brutality, right? With this whole Kaepernick thing. Why does Bobby Fischer... Let's listen to some Bobby Fischer. Bobby Fischer, you got something to say? Huh? So he hears about 9/11 and he's just going off.
For the U.S. Nobody has single-handedly done more for the U.S. than we should be. I really believe this. When I won the World Championship in 72, the United States had an image of, it was a football country, a baseball country, but nobody thought of it as an intellectual country. I turned all that around single-handedly, right?
Yes.
But I was useful then because there was the Cold War, right?
Yes.
But now I'm not useful anymore, you see. The Cold War is over, and now they want to wipe me out, right? Steal everything I have, put me in prison and so on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just a... you have to go back, everything goes back to the roots, to the history. Look at the history of the country. The history of the country is basically what? Get something for nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to mention a couple of things there. You're saying that he was the emblem of Americanism. He made Americans look smart. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. The communists, right, they cared about their people. They were feeding their own people. That's what communism was. And they also believed in state-sponsored chess teams. So they were paying their chess players, but he was just an individual who just picked up chess on his own and just, started kicking everybody's ass and just loved it. And wanted to be world champion when he was, 8 years old or some shit. So I think there is an Americanism in there. His individualistic spirit, his own, gumption, because he just rushed out and wanted to do it himself. So the government, he wasn't being paid to do it. It was his own, love of the game that was encouraging him to go. But the flip side would be that if the government paid Bobby Fischer, right, once he's Bobby Fischer, then if you were to put money into that, it probably would make Bobby Fischer a better player, right? You probably could build institutions from Bobby Fischer's name. Bobby Fischer could have been treated so much fucking better. He was a national treasure. And this is how we treated a fucking national treasure. Who knows what the fuck happened in that Japanese jail? But we pissed him right the fuck off. He said that the U.S. deserved to get kicked in the teeth or some shit like that. And he said he welcomed the invasion. He was happy about it. And he's talking about all the Jews. He wished all the Jews were being killed. And here he's going to mention, because the Native Americans, the United States was founded on stolen land, that the only way that we were going to rectify that historical wrong was for the whites to move back to Europe, for the blacks to move back to Africa, and then just give the country back to the Native Americans. So that's how radical Bobby Fischer thought that this could have been. You know, Bush was doing the same thing. Our president saw this crisis and wanted to turn that and politicize the fuck out of it. Bobby Fischer saw the crisis and said, you know what? We might be able to turn this thing around. We might be able to take 9/11, the tragedy that's 9/11, have an honest introspection of ourselves, stop with the fucking foreign entanglement, stop with the war, stop with the empire, stop supporting the Israeli slaughtering of Palestinians. That's what he wanted. In fact, he was so fucking... I kind of feel for him on that, but it's like, man, I've been living here the whole time. I got to go back to Europe? I've never been to Europe the whole fucking time. I mean, why do I got to go back to Europe? That's like what they're doing with the Dreamers, right? You've been living here your entire life, but go back to your own damn country. So, you know, good thing that I think they rescinded DACA. I don't know. Did they fucking do it, or did they go again? I'm not for sure which way DACA went. But we do some shit like DACA, and then Native Americans want to do shit like that to us. Well, fuck, we're doing that to other people, and they're going to do that shit to us. So there's a historical justification for what he's saying, and I think that's the starting point. The starting point is, you know what, the foreign invaders should leave and then give the Native Americans their land. Now, we're not all going to do that. Is there a way that we could work with the Native Americans and make this thing work? So now that's where we're at. How can we make this work? I mean, right now they got their own land. You know, Native Americans have their reservations, and it's like communally owned, and they have their own issues with governing themselves there. And then, especially with the greater culture, right, not being for them, I'm sure that's tougher. But they got, you know, that's like private fucking property. So they got their own kingdom. It's a nation within inside a nation. They got their own government. So, and you know, North Dakota Access Pipeline, like every single one of the Native Americans got like fucking 20 acres. I know it's like shit ground or something, but 20 acres more than what I got. And that's if you divide, you know, the entire reservation up per person, which I don't think they do that. So it's communally owned, and then whoever the council of elders or the chiefs, that's what the Native Americans saying. So I agree with the premise. This country was stolen by Native Americans. We need to right that wrong. We need to rectify that. We need to rectify slavery too. And you know, how do you do that, right? I think reparations does it. And why not assimilate Native Americans? Why are we still? Do they prefer that? Would they rather have their own little nation? And if that's, you know, then that's their fucking country. You know what I mean? Like, that's actually that solves it. That's your land right there. That was your land. The white man didn't steal your land. You're sitting on your land. And I don't know. I mean, what else can you do? You could assimilate, but then that's I don't know. I mean, fuck, they got their own land. I don't have my own land, so, and my ancestors have been here for quite some time. So, anyways, yeah, let's listen to more Bobby Fischer.
You know, they invaded the country, they robbed the land of the Americans, they killed almost all of them off, brought over slaves to work the fields to build up the country from Africa, right? Mm-hmm. Now, why didn't the white man come to America, like, in a civilized manner, and say, we're being persecuted in Europe, we don't have freedom of religion, we'd like to come here, we'd like to assimilate, we'd like to marry your women, and so on, right? Yes. No, they come. They say, we're coming in here to take your land and to kill you off. Right? Oh. That's the history of the United States. Mm-hmm. A despicable country. You know, even as a boy, you know, I never had the slightest interest in American history. Never. You know, I knew something was rotten in Denmark, you know? Yeah. So what do you think is going to happen in the next 24 hours then? Well, you know, Bush is bellowing. He's told what to say, of course, by Cheney and his father and the Jews, you know. But, well, the U.S. will hit back, of course, but this will just, you know, it's going to get worse and worse in the U.S. The U.S. just will not do what they have to do. The U.S. has to say, we're sorry, our whole foreign policy has been wrong for the last several hundred years. We are going to pull back all our troops from all over the world. We're going to stop supporting Israel, and so on, you see? And they're not going to admit that. No, they're going to say, these terrorists, these criminals, this cowardly act will be punished. You know, and I expect soon there's going to be a new president after the White House is blown up. He'll be in the Colorado mountains, you know, hundreds of feet underneath the Rocky Mountains there, saying, this dastardly act of blowing up the White House will be punished. You know, just to constantly talk about punishing these cowardly people until the United States is destroyed.
Wow.
The United States is not going to be reasonable, you know? It's not going to admit that it's the bad guy that's always been the bad guy. It was the bad guy in World War II. It was the bad guy in World War I. It was the bad guy when it invaded the Philippines from Spain. It was the bad guy when the white man came and killed him.
The bad guy in World War II? I don't think so. Maybe World War I, not World War II. And then Philippines, yes. American Indians, yes. So for the, bulk of what he's saying, he's just talking off the top of his head here. He says at first that Baby Bush is being told what to say by Dick Cheney and Daddy Bush. True. And then he adds, and the Jews. I don't know. I mean, he's loved Israel. So, there's AIPAC. AIPAC, I think, finances 50% of all the candidates. Like, their funding comes from AIPAC. That's what I heard. I mean, that sounds so incredible. I don't know if I believe it. But 50% of all the money for the candidates that run come from AIPAC. Can that be real? 50%? Fuck. Either way, there's a lobby, AIPAC, and they have substantial amount of power, right? Sarah Palin, I love Israel, and I'm sure Joe Biden's gonna love Israel too. I love Israel, we love Israel, and in fact, you can't get elected president unless you fucking suck Israel's dick. So, he's absolutely right about that. He's even saying that the United States, he goes, what do you think is going to happen in the next 24 hours? And it's like, well, is the United States going to look at itself introspectively, realize that, we've been killing and hurting people for capitalism and for dictatorship, and communism is basically, we haven't destroyed communism. It's throughout the world revolution, and communism is now in tandem. So, whereas we used to be the revolutionaries, back in George Washington's day, now we are the fucking empire. We are the British Empire. And so, 900 military bases. We got, 30, 100 fucking wars going on, depending on how you define war. So, we're shooting people in other different countries, invading any country that we fucking feel like, and just basically, looking at the world, be like, what you gonna do? And most of the powerful countries, Russia's like, well, fuck with the rest of the world, but these are our borders, and you ain't gonna do shit about our borders. And so that's nice, I guess. I don't know. They're letting us be the empire, but that's what took the Roman Empire down. Overextension of military fucking alliances that sticks our fucking asses in so many different places. How many soldiers are going to fuck off, right? There's Jeffrey Dahmer was a soldier. So how many Jeffrey Dahmers are there? How many rapes are, how many, cannibalizing and shit that's happening? And yeah, I'm not saying that, the troops are bad. I'm just saying that there's shit's going to happen. When you're in all these different fucking countries, something's going to happen. And now you got, some dumbass fucking did some dumb shit, but that's got the stamp of America on it. So, fuck, we're in Brazil, and then, somebody, rapes one of the Brazilians. The Brazilians are going to hate America. They're going to hate us. As if we all did that because we allowed that fucking shit to happen. So we would have to stop it. We'd have to have, court-martial and make sure there was justice. But do we know how to do that? Do we know how to make sure there's justice? No, we don't. I don't know if it's a rape. I think it's a confused society. I don't know. Authoritarian. I don't know. So the thing, I guess what I was trying to say is that he's right. He's saying what America needs to do is introspect, realize it's been doing some bad shit, and they need to make that change. Be a different kind of fucking country. Be a different kind of nation. Look at who we actually are. Say we're sorry. Say, stop. We've been doing this shit, and we've been doing it for too fucking long. But he's saying it doesn't even fucking matter. Thus, they would be in the Colorado mountains still talking about having to get these damn cowards. These damn cowards, right? They're hiding in the mountains, in a bunker like Hitler. And they're sitting there saying, we gotta, go after these terrorists, them damn cowards. And they're hiding in a fucking bunker. But the whole point of that is that they're going to keep pressing. They're going to be war, more. And look where we're at now. So, Bobby Fischer, he had that moral clarity on day one. And he's definitely pissed off at America, and he's got a right to be. He's got a right to be pissed off. The police brutality he endured, and then the dumb bullshit of being stuck in the fucking Japanese jail was because of Papa Bush. Because of our fucking war with Serbia, which is World War I. World War I had to do with Serbia. And now we're invading Serbia? We're trying to destroy Serbia? Like what? The fucking Austrians try to do? The Austrians try to crack Serbia? Why would we do that? Let Serbia be Serbia. Let, Kurds be Kurdistan.
American Indians, when it brought the black people to as slaves from Africa, it's always been the bad guy. Democracy is just a lot of bullshit. It's just been a cover for the criminal nature of the United States of America.
There are fears, Bobby, that this might start something worse, like a third world war.
Yeah,
Do you think that's possible?
I think it's possible. Unfortunately, that's the big danger, that the Jews, these lunatic people, are going to take us all with them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping, as I say, for a 7 days in May scenario where sane people will take over the U.S. now. You know what I mean?
Sane people.
Sane people. Military people, yes. They will imprison the Jews. They will execute several 100,000 of them at least. And they will bring home all the troops from the U.S., from around the world to the U.S. And ultimately, the white man should leave the United States. And the black people should go back to Africa, the white people should go back to Europe. And the country should be returned to the American Indians who lived there for who knows how many tens of thousands of years. They kept the land pristine, clean. It was a beautiful country when the white man came. This is the future I would like to see for the so-called United States.
Bobby Fischer, everybody.